So here we've got Ikey Boy. Since I'm gloating, doesn't need to have any information.
That consciousness, I mean, you said meditation didn't work for you, but it works for some. Daydreaming.
Here we've got a rat-faced Jew interviewing the Lion, the most spiritually ascended Brit. So that's why, remember, Britain has been under the spiritual protection of the most advanced Brit on the planet, David Icke. That's why Britain is the most ascended country in the world. He says it's a light of consciousness, then tells you you shouldn't go down the tunnel of light because it's wrong. So, the light of consciousness, but don't go down the tunnel of light because it's wrong. And thanks to your most ascended Brit, your glorious Lion of England, your avatar of light, but don't go down the light tunnel, the UK looks like this. So, this is what David Icke, who is your spiritual advanced master, which all of you British filth worship, and tells you not to go down that tunnel of light. This is the result of uploading via Sochivanov number 3 to not someone who's spiritually advanced, but someone who is Abaddon information. And for you Christian Zionists, filth like Charlie Kirk, by their works shall ye know them. So, one would have it as indisputable evidence and fact that David Icke is the most spiritually advanced UK citizen, and there is no one else who can touch him. He's the one who tells you not to go down the tunnel of light. He's the one who's been pontificating on all the evils of the world and the Rothschild, Rockefeller royal family, and they're all reptiloids and you've been following him, and of course, since you've been uploading your scalar, torsion field, leptionics, conscious verse, attention, love to your Messiah, David Icke, whose daughter, 31 or something, dead. You would see now that the UK is a glorious utopia because of the immense psychic power, the supernatural power, the godliness of David Icke. The UK is the utopia of the world. Everyone else is going, damn, I wish I lived in the UK. No, I think not. Hell of living in the UK. The UK is hell on earth. Victor David Hanson, Britain is a hellhole. Pregnant Brit drug mule, Bella Cully lands in UK. Nottingham is hell, the Johannesburg of Great Britain. So, you get the gist, there's plenty more. Britain's tenant from hell evicted after terrorising her neighbours. And of course, Trumpy Boy is suing the BBC, which is the British Broadcasting Corporation, for $1 billion, or threatened to. So, one can see that everything you've been told about reality is absolutely wrong, and I'm having a good gloat here. So, all of you Brits who've been following David Icke, you've been following the road to hell. Now you upload your IDs to websites. Digital ID is here. And saw now that supermarkets are weighing your trolleys to make sure you don't steal stuff, and soon be making sure that you're not buying anything you shouldn't, because we're saving the earth from climate change. So it always amazed me why the Nordic aliens who were helping the Nazis failed when they're supposed to be one of the most benevolent races. So here we get the low-life base level vermin talking about the deal.
The Nazis
had a flying saucer.
had made a deal basically working with
What?
You've never heard this?
No.
It's the greatest story ever, bro. It's the greatest
So the
story.
Nazis made a deal with the aliens?
Yes.
Holy shit.
For technology, and the deal was they were going to work together. Yes.
Nazi UFOs.
The Nazis.
The Nazis.
So here we've got the lowlifes talking about it. Pretty obvious, but it wasn't the insectiles, reptiloids, or greys. It was this lot.
Maybe aliens out there that share not only our shape but also our faces, like it belongs in the realms of fiction. If we found out we lived in a universe like Star Wars or Doctor Who, where humans are found on all sorts of planets, we would be forced to completely change the way we look at ourselves, both in terms of science and religion. Unfortunately, there is evidence to suggest.
Instead of which, the Nazis lost, and we know that America and the West are occupied by the interdimensional vehicles, which we call reptiloids, greys, and insectiles, which we've talked about. Greys, reptilians, and mantis beings, the occult agenda. Oh, we got Achy Boy talking about the lizard Illuminati. But don't go into the light. Remember, your greatest, most evolved white boy in the UK tells you not to go into the light. So Vinny, when you die, don't go into the tunnel of light. Go into the darkness, the absolute darkness of Abaddon information, so you can be fully processed. Members of the royal family aren't human. Are reptile people actually real? Scariest reptilian transformations. And remember, the American filth made a deal at the end of the 50s with this lot, and they've been having wars and underground bases with this lot. But anyway, there are obviously at least two camps. The interdimensional beings that breed bio-engineered vessels to decant themselves into, because they're massless, bodiless, whatever you want to call them. And they, of course, crave dominion over the light energy realms. So if you don't believe in interdimensionals, and that humans talking against the interdimensional filth has repercussions, well, let's look at this one from 2 days ago. The enemy of Israel. Desperate. Well, Megyn Kelly's an enemy of Israel. Naughty people. They don't like what's going on in Israel. But anyway, obviously they're being attacked, and interdimensionals are real for these people.
Early what happened at the Ascension School in Minneapolis, where that man went in there and shot a bunch of little children praying at their church school. And I challenge anyone to tell me there aren't demons among us.
I never thought there were. I thought the whole thing was like bizarre.
So what happened?
Because like culturally, I'm just not from a world where people are attacked by demons. And in fact, what?
Yeah, but the alien races, where they make biosynthetic bodies, the greys, the reptiloids, and the insectiles, they are vehicles for interdimensional entities, which he calls demons, to have vehicles to manifest in our light energy matter reality. And of course 3i Atlas has got 6 billion pods for the invasion force that are going to be manifest from the soul's reality light. Remember, listen to David Icke, Britain's most ascended being. Don't go into the light, go into the darkness. And if you do that, of course, your light, your Higgs field is used to allow these interdimensionals to go into their biosynthetics and invade Earth. So you humans know fuck all, but never mind. Let's talk to Tucker Carlson, who knows as much about my subject as a cockroach caught in a crusher, but let's hear his experiences.
When I saw the blood on my sheets, I was like, I actually called someone who works for me who's a very sincere, lifelong evangelical, and I'm like, have you ever heard of this? And she's like, oh yeah, it happens all the time. And I was like, what? Not to Episcopalians it doesn't.
Stop it down.
Yeah, no, it was wild. Yeah, I mean, I'm not embarrassed at all, and I don't care if I'm mocked. I don't get anything out of making this up, and I'm not making it
But
up.
what happened?
I had this crazy experience where I was in a truck with someone coming back from quail hunting, and I had all of a sudden we were talking about someone I despise, and all of a sudden I had this crazy empathy for the person, like really intense empathy, like I could understand why this person was doing these horrible things. And I said to the person in the truck, this is a family dispute, right? So I said to the person, maybe my brother, and I said, I think I know what's happening here. This person feels this way, that way, this way. And my brother goes, how did you know that? I said, I don't know, it just like, and my brother goes, I think like God is like speaking through you or something. And I felt total, true empathy for this person I truly hate. It was like the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. I have no idea where it came from. My brother's like, I think that's from God, like there's no way you could. I said, well, that's kind of wild. So then I get home, we have this huge dinner party, which we always have dinner parties, and I forget about it. And I'm telling you this because they're twinned. The one leads to the other. I had this profound experience with God, like profound and beautiful and unexpected. And then I go to bed with my wife and 4 dogs who sleep in the bed. My wife's had 4 children. My dogs are hunting dogs. All 5 of them wake up like that. Like we have no home invaders in my house. I wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I check and I couldn't breathe at all. My throat was closed. It wasn't like I was apnea or was strong as I couldn't breathe. So I get up, I stand in the doorway of our bedroom, and I'm like, wow, I'm dying. I could feel myself starting to gray out. And then I started walking in the backyard, and then it slowly came back. Like my throat kind of opened up a little bit. I was like really weirded out. I walk back in, and my wife wakes up. She goes, what is going on? I said, I don't know, I can't breathe. I feel better now. And all of a sudden I had this horrible pain underneath my arms, like on the side of my chest, like bad. I thought I'd been like ripped with a knife or something. It just was very intense. So I go into the bathroom, I flip on the light, and I have claw marks on both sides, on right and left side on my ribs, and they're bleeding. And they're literally claw marks, 4 on either side. I put my fingers in, don't fit my fingers, and I sleep on my side. So how could, and by the way, no one woke up. So I show my wife and she's like, oh my gosh. And then I have this like crazy intense desire to read the Bible. So I read the Bible and I pass out in like 2 minutes, and I wake up and the next morning I thought, man, did I have a wild dream? And then I see blood in my sheets, and I go in the bathroom and I have these bloody marks. And my wife goes, I think you were attacked by some supernatural being. And I was like trying to be logical about it. I was like, yeah, I definitely was. And then I called one of my producers, who's like, oh yeah, well, that's pretty common. I was like, what? And I've had a couple other experiences, not that crazy, but where you really feel God's presence, which is marked by peace and true empathy, love for other people, which doesn't come naturally to me. I'm kind of a dick, obviously. But you know it when God is acting through you, and then they're followed by some wild attack. Like, why? I've had a couple things. It's just like, well, anyway, I'm not an expert in this. I'm hardly a theologian. Of course, I would never pretend to be an expert in anything. I can only say what happened to me. It was 100% real, and it completely changed my view of the world.
Well, what did you learn from your conversation with Lee Strobel, who wrote a book on the supernatural and who also wrote The Case for Christ? Many of you guys recommended that book to me, and it really was amazing. And Lee Strobel came on your show in September.
Yes.
On his new book, which is about the supernatural.
Yes.
It's about miracles, it's about angels, it's about demons. It's a great read. But was there something in there that spoke to you?
Everything about it. I mean, I grew up in a church, I'll just admit it with shame, the Episcopal Church, where all the supernatural stuff was taken out. And at a certain stage of my life, I was like, why am I going to church? I love hanging in bed with my wife and dogs on Sunday morning. Like, why am I, and we were ties to church, like, why am I doing this? There's nothing in here that's like, be nice to your neighbor, okay. Like, if it's not supernatural, then what's the point? And when I read the Bible, it's like, it is about the supernatural.
Yeah,
like, that's the whole story.
It's true.
It's like God intervenes supernaturally, bigger than, above nature, and that's why it's different from every other book. And the New Testament especially is filled with Jesus casting out demons. I literally didn't know that. I knew there was the crazy guy in the cemetery who broke his chains, but I didn't really realize that not only did Jesus, but also the disciples were casting out demons that were possessing people and causing them to hurt themselves. And as someone who had a drug and alcohol problem, like I know kind of that weird, I've seen it a lot, and others also, that weird desire to harm yourself.
By the way, there's a reason they call it his demons. He's fighting his demons.
It is totally real. Because ultimately, evil, we always think of evil as like something that like diabolical people do to gain, like I'm screwing you, I'm killing you so I can take your gold. But what we never acknowledge is true, which is evil flows through people and destroys the people. Not just the victims, but also the person through whom it flows. People who are possessed by evil are themselves destroyed every single time. And of course, I've lived a life, so I've seen a lot of that, and now in retrospect, I understand what it was. And so much of what we experience is from outside of ourselves. We are acted upon constantly by the spiritual realm. And Lee Strobel just affirmed what I was beginning to realize, which is we are the subject of massive supernatural influence all the time. And every other civilization from the beginning of time has acknowledged this and written about it and left artifacts that point to that belief, and only in the last 80 years have we just foreclosed that possibility, and we've embraced this, the dumbest religion ever created, scientism, which is like, oh, I can't measure that. It's not real. Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Right? That's like insane, actually, when
Yeah.
you say it out loud. But that is our state religion. It's mandated, by the way. If you don't believe it, you can't serve in high office, you're mocked, you're literally disqualified from professions if you don't embrace scientism, which is like the fakest thing ever invented. Like I would always, like as a kid, study these weird religions and like, that's insane. Nothing is as insane as scientism. And so once you discard it, and you're like, yeah, it's nice to measure things in a lab. Is that the sum total of truth? Obviously not. What is true, then you realize like, holy smokes, the spiritual battle is totally real, and we are the subjects of it.
And that will lead us to UFOs. All right, now I know you're into this topic, and I know you know people who know a lot about this topic and who may not be able to provide everything they know in a public setting. So what do we know?
Well, I mean, we know beyond question that there are objects and phenomena, aerial and undersea, that can't be explained by science and that seem to defy the laws, will measurably defy the laws of physics, and that are not experimental aircraft created by DARPA or the DoD or by the Russians or the Chinese. Like, we know that. There have been many testimonies to this effect under oath in the Congress in the last 2 years. So like, that's not even a question. Are they real? Yeah, well, obviously they're real. What are they is the question. And I've been down the rabbit hole on this, and just because of my job, the one upside to having a gig like this, as you well know, is if you're curious about something, you actually have access to people who know or say they know, and you just call them up and be like, hey, come to my house, tell me what you know. I'm working on a story about it. I've never done really a story on this because I came to a hard and fast conclusion on it, which I can't prove, but I sincerely believe it, which is that these are spiritual phenomena, obviously. They've been here forever. There's a lot of evidence of that in the written record going back thousands
What do you
of
mean?
years. They're angels and demons, of course. And that would be obvious and was obvious to everyone else. What's so interesting, one of the reasons that this topic will drive you crazy and why I opted out and do no research and talk to no one about it, I'm out, I know what I think, I don't want to know anymore, is because there is such, and this is a matter of record, a concerted, decades-long disinformation campaign by the US government to obscure what's happening. And if you look at that, and I grew up the son of a federal employee in a world where there was a lot of this stuff, so I do know a lot about this. And one of the ways to discredit the truth is by flooding the zone with lies. So rather than just denying UFOs are not real, well, you can't deny that anymore, they are real. What you do is you create a bunch of fake stories leading people in the wrong direction. You flood the zone. There's so many conspiracy theories that no one believes anything. But the way to know what the truth is by figuring out what they're trying to prevent you from believing. And if you look at the US government propaganda, DoD propaganda, on the question of UFOs, UAPs, the one thread that connects all of it is that these are not supernatural. These are little green men from Mars. They're weather phenomenon. They're experimental aircraft. The one thing that they don't want you to believe is that they are spiritual entities.
Why would that be so threatening to them?
Well, that's a great question. That is the question.
So, now we come to the central thesis, which is that we've got a battle between the interdimensionals that get their light, their Higgs field, their hyperinfinity from the downward flow from light intelligence beings, and the process of this is teaching light intelligence beings to hate what's good. And of course, the core of this, the seminal seed to allow the downward flow, because remember, light energy matter beings have assemblage points, matter doesn't, and the interdimensionals have assemblage points, but that's only from the downflow from light energy matter beings, because remember, light energy matter beings are connected to the light unless they get David Icke. So all you Brits, follow David Icke, because I want you in utter darkness. I hate UK filth, and I want you eternally tortured. So follow your Messiah, the white boy, David Icke, the lion. So what's the core of this? You've got to hate what's precious to you. Remember, hating good, yeah, but you know, what's good, what's bad. And this is the core. You've got to be taught to hate free will. Psychiatry explains why free will is an illusion. Free will doesn't exist. Does free will exist, or is everything predetermined? Oh, that comes from my favourite torture toy, Elon Musk, whose fate is going to be so horrific, even the vampires will be puking at what I'm going to do to that piece of shit. Free will illusion. If God is real, I despise him. Humans don't have free will. Why free will doesn't exist? why people hate talking about free will. Some people don't deserve free will. If you believe in an all-knowing God, then free will is impossible. So, that is what they want you to give up. And the mechanism for it, of course, is all aspects of society. And we've got a digital avatar, which they've created for all of the humans on the planet. And its primary program is to make you give up your free will to the digital avatar that collapses your quantum wave function and then can control you totally. But before the digital avatar can totally control you totally, you have to make the decision to give up your free will. So your digital avatar, run by the American filth who made a bargain with the aliens and got all this tech from the aliens, and when explaining the difference between the different alien types, you have to give up your free will. You have to hate what's good. And the only thing that's good in you is your free will. Because remember, for me, a mad Muslim, what is good is totally evil to Uyghurs who really think what we do is really evil. But for us, that's the only pathway to Allah's heaven. But for you, well, that's totally evil. So you see the illusory nature of good. What's good for me is very evil for you. What's good for you is very evil for me. But what is indisputable, the essence, is that giving up free will and hating your free will is the essence of this operation. And the digital avatar can only operate once you've fully given your free will over to authority and your digital avatar. So all of you Uyghurs, you desperately need to give away your free will, and of course they're making it easy for you, where if you wish to participate in society and get your CBDCs after you get made unemployed, you're going to need your digital ID, which allows you to participate in society. So before you can do anything, you're going to have to get your digital ID, your mark of the beast. So what is the mark of the beast? The mark of the beast is of your own free will, giving up your free will and hating your free will so much you give it up to be able to participate in society. Why is this important? Because if you understand the nature of reality, doing this allows you then to be farmed for your light, your hyperinfinity, your free will, and your assemblage point can be bled off, go to the aliens. And in order to do this, we've got to have people who are possessed. You need possessed people. This is humans or light energy matter beings, can be aliens, that are possessed by interdimensionals. And there, they teach you to love it. Love it. Love it. And at the core of it is love giving you away your free will. And one can see now we need these to be in control of society. So, cameraman, you're the thickest person around here. What is the most hated thing to be doing among humans? The thing that gets the general population really hating you.
Surrender, what is it?
Oh, I know you're thick as a brick and you proved it. I tell you what, I don't know why I have all these idiots around me, but it's good to show how brilliant I am when they've got IQs that are under 100. See, no videos available. Raping babies. Raping them. And who of course was into pulling the great and the good down into not raping babies but raping teenagers. Any idea?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, yes, good old Jeffrey. There we are, Jeffrey Epstein. So, you can see that this, apart from blackmailing politicians and Trumpy boy and Gatesy boy and the rest of them who like teenagers or sub-teenagers, it has not an occult significance, but enables the light, free will, hyper infinity, stolen or given freely by the light energy matter beings who have been taught to hate what's good. Basically hate their free will and give it away. It then needs to be processed, so we need around the planet interdimensional possessed vehicles that then act as seminal seeds for the flow of this light hyperinfinity free will to be given to the interdimensionals, which means loving what's evil. And of course, what's better than loving? So the first one was hating your free will. The second one is loving, giving away free will. And what's better than having young children who against their will are tortured, raped and snuffed, and all of the ruling class who are pulled into this by the interdimensional possessed downloader are possessed by this network. So don't think of Epstein and his ilk as blackmailing the great and the good in the West. No, they're actually enabling the interdimensionals to possess the ruling class of the West. So every single politician, oligarch, and other members of the great and the good who've been participating in paedophilia, all of them. Oh no, that one.
Windsor has been asked by American politicians to answer questions as part of their investigation into convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. A Congress committee of Democrats have called for his cooperation, but they don't have the power to compel him to appear. He strenuously denies all allegations against him. Our North America correspondent Peter Bowes reports.
In a letter to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Democrats on the US committee say they believe the former prince has valuable information about the crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirators. They want to hear from him directly, although they can't force Andrew to give evidence because he's not an American citizen. The US lawmakers want to investigate allegations that he abused Virginia Giuffre, claims that he has strenuously denied, as well as gather information on Epstein's social network based on the two men's long-standing and well-documented friendship. The committee members say if Andrew wants to clear his name, he should tell them everything he knows.
I want Andrew to testify under oath because...
So, the bottom line is that these paedophile pimps and their madams like Ghislaine Maxwell are possessed by intradimensionals, and the whole purpose is not to blackmail the great and the good of the West. No, it's to possess them. Every single human that participated in this pedo snuff merchantry has been possessed. Why? Well, the light comes from teaching light energy matter beings, be they human or alien, to hate what's good. And the core of that is your free will. Give it away. And the light's then passed via these transducers, these interdimensionally possessed light energy matter beings, which we might call bloodlines, which have been taken over eons ago. Basically, they're light energy matter beings that have been bred to be possessed. And they then ensnare the ruling class of a planet to worship, loving, giving away free will. And of course, they've given away their free will already. So how can they love giving away free will? Because they hated their free will, otherwise they wouldn't be evil little fucks, would they? And they've given away all their light. So how can they worship giving away free will? Well, let's have the kiddies in the basement and let's do the frazzle drip. Yes, 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 yes. Let's take away the free will. Let's love taking away the free will from innocent little youngsters of our race, be it alien or human. Yes, 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 yes. The demons. So you see the old insectile slurping away all this lovely stuff. It's then passed down to the interdimensionals, who are bodiless, who then suddenly can enter our world and enter the physical bodies of everyone involved in the Epstein ring or any alien race involved in this technology. It's a technology. Tucker Carlson, who's got the IQ of a chimpanzee, let's be honest though, all the humans have got an IQ of a chimpanzee compared to me. We'll explain that in the future. Or in this video, because cameraman is looking pensive. He's looking pensive. Why have I got the IQ of a chimpanzee? No, cameraman, I think you don't have the IQ of a chimpanzee. I think you've got the IQ of a lobotomized chimpanzee. I think we're offending chimpanzees with you. But anyway, you can see it's a technology, and that the Demons, which you call intradimensionals, but in the scientific regimen you call them interdimensionals, can then migrate into light energy matter physical bodies, push out the awareness within it and take it over. Sequestration technology, all run by acquiring the light hyperinfinity the sourceness of light energy matter beings. Because remember, matter doesn't have a percentage point. So in fact it doesn't exist. It has no Higgs field. So when a man of power vanishes from the world, he vanishes with all his clothes as well. Years ago, what? He should just vanish and his clothes should just on the floor. And no, everything, all the matter around him, gone when he unmanifests. What? Ah, but matter doesn't have an percentage point. Therefore it's got no Higgs field. Therefore it doesn't exist. There's no reality to it. So the only reason that the matter you're trapped in has reality comes from the interdimensional breakthrough from the mechanism I'm talking about that has turned matter into a prison to trap your being, and you're trapped in the costume of skins as in the Garden of Eden. So your body is the prison. So think of the matrix, you're in that container. The container is the interdimensionally possessed body. Your being is trapped within. So in Castaneda we have these parasites that have infested the body. What's the beachhead? What's the D-Day landing? The D-Day landing is your physical body, and they eat the energy body from the outside inwards. What's the outside of your energy body? Well, the outside of your energy body is your physical body, the human body you walk within. So if you get rid of the interdimensional possession of your material vessel into which your being has been poured, by definition, you then become immortal. All diseases, all vicissitudes, all malaises, all mental problems, all your problems come from interdimensional capture of your physical vehicle into which the light energy matter being has been downloaded due to it being taught to hate. What's good? So, why is it that this, just look at that, 745 subscribers. It proves casting pearl before swine isn't worth the effort. But if it's gloating just to say, I told you so, you're all fucked. Anyway, you can see that I'm not doing this to help you, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. Isn't it nice? Well, you're in a torture chamber and you're going to be flensed, your skin's going to be taken off, and the American School of America's electrodes up every orifice, and after we fry you, we're going to blowtorch you, and we're going to put some lye on your eyes, and of course we're going to get some Israelis in to roger you in every orifice, because you must be a Palestinian. And then we're going to start the torture. by downloading you into a matrix where you're tortured eternally, and we do any damn thing to you and you can't die. And when you go mad, we're going to reboot you. Yes, 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 yes. Ooh, gloat, 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 gloat. So as you can see, I'm not doing this to save you, I'm just doing this out of pure gloating. It's good to be a sadist. Yes, 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 yes. Aren't you happy, cameraman?
I am, extremely.
Yeah. Do you want to be in my basement?
No.
So, the whole point is that there is acquisition of reality, the thing that makes the quantum information real from light energy beings, by teaching them to hate what's good. And of course, how is this done? So, your parents are there for only one reason: to teach you to hate what's good and to love what's evil. That's their only purpose. And they just bring you into the world to bring more light, more Higgs field, more hyperinfinity to be given to the intradimensionals. Unfortunately, this baby, whose neural network had been built by his intradimensionally possessed parents. So, fortunately, yours truly had a horrific accident, the worst that the plastic surgeons in the top UK hospital had ever seen on a 6-year-old.
Is comprised of 4 different lobes. There's a frontal lobe, the temporal lobes, the parietal lobes, and the occipital lobe. Each of these lobes have a different function and they control different behaviors. The frontal and temporal lobes, which are in the front and on the sides, are much more susceptible to injury because there are many more bony prominences in the front of the skull. So if there's an injury to the frontal lobe, it will affect judgment. It will affect the ability to multitask. A brain injury attorney must understand not only the function and relative position of areas of the brain, they have to understand the different impact that injury to different parts of the brain will have, how that's caused by inaction, how it will affect someone's life going forward, and their ability to function. If you or a family member has sustained a brain injury as a result of the negligence of somebody else, please call the brain injury